Hey guys, Keith here, Two Guys How To's. And you know, everybody always talks about the Mizzen on the ponds and the algae and the algicide and stuff. And you can get it pretty easily, but it seems like nobody ever knows how to mix it. Just based on what I've been doing on the ponds that I treat and different things, you always want to start out low, of course, and go high. You can't spray the whole pond in one setting. The copper content's so heavy in it, you'll just suffocate the fish, so you want to do half and half. If you've got an aerator, you might be able to get away with a little bit more than half, but I would still do half and half, maybe half one week, half the next week. So what we're going to do is, I just got a typical measuring cup, and it'll come in cups, or it'll do if you're doing milliliters or whatever. So and I got a 4-gallon sprayer, and I use this just for like weed control and things like that. I don't use it for anything other than just mainly the algicides for the ponds, and I got another one for weeds, so I kind of segregate them out. But we're just going to go ahead and we're going to shake this. Make sure we shake it well first. And it just seems like nobody can tell you how to mix this stuff up. So for 1 gallon, and we'll just register it under milliliters because this comes in at 128 ounces on this particular one. And I'm going to do it in milliliters. We could do ounces, you know, convert it over. But I'm just going to go ahead and either do the milliliters. I'm actually just going to do the cup because it's a lot easier. And we're just going to pour that right on in there. And I'm going to do 1 cup of this Mizzen per 4 gallons of water. And you just watch it and you notice the treatment. Next time go around, if it doesn't work, you can go up a little bit heavier. But we're going to go ahead and just pour this right in here. And this has a strainer in it, so it won't bubble up. And we're just going to rinse out the last little bit of water in here. It's kind of like dyed. Make sure we get it all out of that bottle there, or the cup here, and wash it out real good. And we're just going to fill this thing up, 4 gallons, and it'll say it on the side over here, up in gallons on this particular side. So I'm going to fill this thing up with 4 gallons. And then we're going to head down to the pond and we're going to spray it, and then we're going to check it every couple days just to see what it's doing, just in case we get a heavy rain, and notice the results. If the results are good and they're exactly what we do want, I'm going to go ahead and just do the other half of the pond next week. So let me get all this dirt out and debris out of here. So I'm going to fill this up, and we're going to head down to the pond and we're going to spray it, and I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, we're back at the pond now, and you can see there's a ton of muck all over this particular pond. So it's building up, and we're going to fight it off. I'm not going to do the other whole half. I'm going to do the majority of the deeper part today. And remember, we got this backpack sprayer, and you can pump it up, and you can see I pump it right here. It builds up pressure. My 4 gallons is in the back, and here's my wand. And you can adjust this wand. If you get one of these, they're about $90, maybe a little less, something like that. But man, they're so handy. You can use them on anything. So I recommend getting one, regardless of just stuff you do around the house. And you can adjust this tip, so if you tighten it up, it'll mist a little bit more. If we want to reach out way out in the middle, we're going to adjust it down and it'll stream. So let's adjust it out a little bit so it'll stream. And I'm just going to coat half this pond right here. And we do have an aerator in here, so I'm going to be a little bit more generous today than I normally am, because it is aerated, but we want to get these blooms off of here as quickly as possible. And I'm going to adjust this tip out a little bit more and get it going really good here. And this should stretch in the middle of the pond, to where when I go on the other side of the pond, it'll reach all the way back over to the middle again, and I won't have to worry about multiple passes and getting in the boat and all that stuff. So let's just keep going with it. We're going to go out to the middle, and we're just going to try to hit those big blooms even better. If you have a boat, it works, but you know, it's just a little bit more work. So let's just keep trying. The more air you keep in this backpack sprayer, the further out it goes. So you can see it's going way out there. I mean, we're probably a good 30 feet, 35 feet out, and we're just going to rain on this thing. And you don't want to go overkill, like I said, because if you put too much copper in here, the fish might just start going belly up, and that isn't what you want. You want to go light. You don't want to kill off all the fish and the wildlife that's in here. So we're just going to keep on going. And we're going to spray around these edges as we go. And just get up in there and you hit those blooms. Hit those blooms pretty good. And let's see if we can get a little bit over here before I have to pump back up here. And we'll focus too on this drain tube here on this particular pond. Make sure there's nothing down in here. Check for snakes. And you're just going to hit those blooms. Just hit them real good. You know, don't kill it. Like I said, we don't want to kill the fish off. So, and with the Mizzen, it's nobody really has a good application rate. You know, I mean, they say they do, and then they don't, and then they do, and then they don't. And every time you get online, you can buy the stuff easy, but nobody can tell you how to apply it. So we're just going to apply it to this heavy algae because it got so hot out. It just came in strong. It loves to just choke everything out. So we're going to pump that sprayer up again, try to hit right on those blooms and mystify this whole area. Lighter is better. I know that you want instant results, but you just don't want to kill off everything. You don't want to kill the fish. And this stuff it's kind of unpredictable. Like I said, we do have an aerator in here in this particular place, and you can see I'm just squirting down on these blooms here real good. Hit the tops of these, try to just let it get in there and kill it off. And let's pump this thing back up again, and we're going to go out to the middle one more time. The more you pump it up, the further out it goes. We got the wind that came in, so I'm going to adjust my tip out here a little bit more. That's what we want. I'm going to use that wind to my advantage to get way out there again, out onto that big bloom there. And remember, we're only going to do at least half of this one part of the pond, because we definitely don't want to kill stuff off. There's big, huge bass and other stuff in here. And I think we're just going to leave it like that. And we're going to check back here on the next day or so. And we're just going to check it daily and see what results we actually have from this. If we can break this stuff up and kill it off, then the rest of the muck will start coming back down here. And when it's back down here in the deeper area again, we'll just spray again. So this 4 gallons, I might get a time and a half with it. If I wanted to really go and be risky, I could do the whole thing. But they say you should never do the whole thing. I wouldn't recommend it. You come down the next day in this high heat, and your fish will just be belly up and they'll be dead, and you'll just be kicking yourself for it. So just go real slow. Start out with a cup of it per 4 gallons, and that's almost a little on the heavy side. So don't say, oh, well, Keith said this and I'm only going to put 3. Just start off light first, and then you can work your way up. And once you work your way up and you see what ratio works for you, just write it down on the edge of that bottle. Write down 1 cup per 4 gallons, or 1.5 cup, or 1/2 cup, or whatever it is. Once you write that down, put it inside the house, you'll never forget, because no one can give you a good idea or a general basis of how to mix this stuff. It's easy to get, but the ratio is it's kind of like a gray area. So until next time, Keith with the 2 Guys How-Tos and the Fish Kings. Get some of it, and be careful with this Mizzen. You don't want the fish belly up. I'll see you next time.